Hello and welcome to Ask Me About K-Pop, the essential guide for recent converts and seasoned fans alike. My name is Shannon.
And I'm Angelica.
And welcome to the show. It is such an exciting day because we have not one, but two return guests and a third new guest to hang out with you guys today. And it's very exciting. So please put your hands together and welcome two Noonas and a dancer, otherwise known as Jane Kim, Chuck Ma, and Lizz Adams.
Yay! Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Of course, it's very exciting. Jane was on episode 26 and was the first guest we ever had that was not my husband.
Honored.
So Jane, do you want to say hello so everyone can remember what your voice sounds like?
Hi, I'm Jane. I'm the K-pop enthusiast of the three of us. And I'm so excited to be back.
Yay! Chuck was on episode 34 and we talked about variety shows with Chuck. So
Yeah.
Chuck, would you like to say hello to the listeners again?
Hi guys, I'm Chuck. It's nice to be back. I hope everybody's doing good and excited to talk about K-pop.
Woo!
As
Yay!
always. We're always excited to talk about K-pop here.
Always. And
I
our new
hope.
guest, who's never been here before, is Lizz Adams.
Hi.
So Liz, since you are a new guest, you have to do what all of our guests do and tell your K-pop origin story, which is when did K-pop come into your life? How did you feel about it? What do you like about it now? Just to get to know you for our listeners.
Okay, great. So, hi, everyone. I'm Lizz Adams, better known on the internet as Liz Party. I know I have a white last name, but I am Korean. And I guess my K-pop origin story is I got into it in the 90s with first-gen K-pop groups. It was just, I grew up in a really Korean, I grew up in a huge Korean church community, which if you've been a part of a Korean church community, you know exactly what kind of community I grew up in. And that was just like my intro to K-pop and Korean like pop culture is like what my other friends were into. And like we had a bunch of kids at my church that came from Korea, and so they like had the haps, they like knew what was up and what was cool there. And this was like this is a long time ago, okay? Like people were wearing Jinko jeans and stuff. So
Sure.
I was just, God, what wasn't there to love? I was so obsessed with HOT.
I was gonna ask if you were an HOT or a sex
I
girl.
I was both. I liked everybody. I wasn't either or, but I liked HOT more. I was obsessed with Kangta. He was just so beautiful, and he still is. He looks different now, obviously, but he was just such a perfect. His voice, and I was huge into the girl groups, SES, Finkel, and my cat's name is. My cat is named after one of my favorite girl groups of the time, which was a female rap group called Diva.
Oh my God, Diva! Yes,
Diva.
with their fully leather suits and their
husky
low-voiced rappers.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, they were great.
Yes. Oh, Vicky was iconic. But my cat's name is Diva. So I've never stopped loving it. There was a period of my time where I like stopped being super up to date on what was going on, but then lately, the last couple of years, I've gotten way more into it. And then I found kindred spirits in Jane and Chuck, and we just all, went full throttle for it together. We went crazy.
Yes, and I want to get into that in a second, but I also wanted to bring up, because I brought it up on the show a few times, but we never got to talk about it together. After Jane was on our show years ago, you put together the K-pop show at UCB, which I went to a couple of times and enjoyed so much. So I just have to shout out to you that I loved the K-pop show.
Oh my God, we loved the K-pop show.
Yeah,
it
it
was
was fun.
a group of Korean girls at the Upright Citizens Brigade in the community. We wanted to put on a comedy show featuring stuff we loved about Korean culture, so the K-pop show was born. was the best show at UCB.
It was
It
just an
was.
excuse for us to dance most of the
Yeah,
time.
that too.
Yeah.
But that was great. And the photos that you guys, like your K-pop photos that you took for the promotional posters were wonderful. And I always loved going because all the other like comedy nerds were just like, this is weird, but I was singing all the songs. It was great.
Yeah.
So we brought you here today because we wanted to talk about your new project that y'all are all doing together, which is a YouTube reaction channel called Two Noonas and a Dancer. So can you tell us a little bit about why you just started to do that and how it all came together and all of that stuff?
Oh man, why did we do it?
It was quarantine and we were bored.
Yeah,
quarantine.
basically.
And we were already watching so many K-pop music videos together and opining about it anyway. So we were like, why don't we just take this on the web and see
Yeah.
what the internet has to say?
Yeah.
I think that was it. We were just doing it anyway. So we were like, if we made a YouTube channel, maybe people would be interested.
Yeah.
But it's really for us.
It really is. I mean, we used to do these like Game of Thrones screenings at Lizz's place, and it would devolve eventually into the three of us just forcing all our friends to watch Korean music videos with us.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I mean, it was the last season of Game of Thrones, so it wasn't really that great either. So we just
You have to spice up the party.
yeah. After the episode ended, we were like, oh, let's watch
It
some
really did
K-pop.
turn into that every week. It would just be us being like adding different K-pop videos to the queue, and then our friends patiently being like, "Oh,
Oh, this is nice. This is fun. How
Oh,
colorful.
they're-
What's his name?
They're
Kang
great.
Daniel? That's interesting.
It's always nice when they pretend to try.
I
at least for a
know. I
minute.
I think my favorite thing is when they're like, oh, they're speaking English in this. And they're like, oh, yeah, they've been speaking English in K-pop songs since the beginning of time. So it was like interesting seeing them be surprised that there was like the English language in the songs. It was really fun.
Yeah, I always get those comments like, can't believe they're speaking English, and always the comments of like, wow, I mean, like, this is catchy, and like they're surprised that it's not
that it doesn't suck.
bad. I don't know.
Or like,
that
they're
it's
so
not, like,
synchronized.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, it's actually good. This thing you spend all your time talking about, I can't believe it. But I'm curious, before you guys started your own reaction channel, were you like consumers and watchers of K-pop reaction videos on YouTube?
Yeah, I'd seen a
Yeah.
few. Like, I really enjoy Desi March a lot. And let's see. I really like the classical musicians react to.
Yes.
They
I'm
were
so
very
excited.
fun. I always liked their like, what is this? And then they would use jargon that I didn't understand, but I would pretend like I know.
Yeah, it was like, modulation. And I was like,
And
I
I'm like,
know.
yeah, I think I understand.
Yeah. I watched Bricks a lot. And
Yeah, I
then
like breaks too.
there's a smaller channel called K Junkies React, and they're two girls, and they're like pretty fun. I think I've talked about this before last time, but I used to watch a lot of reactions because there's just like not a lot of like girls reacting to Asian guys on YouTube. So it was like fun seeing it was nice for an Asian American dude to see like girls being like, oh, these guys are hot. And it's like, yeah, they are.
And I'm hot too.
They are hot. But yeah, it was nice. It was cool. And obviously now it's way bigger, so it wasn't as novel. It's not as novel as it is now, but
For sure.
It's still fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I was trying, because we usually on this show try to be very educational and have like history and notes so that we can be like, got it. But trying to find like a comprehensive history or any kind of data about people doing reaction videos was really hard to find. And like there were a couple of people like Dre from In My Feels, who we did K-Con with this year, has been doing reaction videos for like 9 years. And that was like one of the oldest channels I could find.
Wow.
But in like before that, a lot of reaction videos, like I was trying to think of like old comebacks and then looking for the oldest video I could find. And it seems like in the past, a lot of people would do the reaction without superimposing the video. It was just their face, like staring at the laptop and reacting.
Oh,
And
that's
that's-
right.
That was like the first gen of reaction videos. And I was trying to remember the first time I watched one, and I think that it was when the video for Miss A's You came out. Something about that video, I was just like so into it, and I was like, I need to watch other people watch this and make sure I'm not the only one so shook.
Yeah, that's how you fall in, right? You're
Right.
like, is my reaction valid? Did somebody else have this reaction? Did you guys ever see Simon and Martina?
Yes, the Eat Your Kimchi people.
Did they ever do reactions? Yeah, maybe. I
They
feel like
might have at some point
Maybe
back in the
not.
day, in their heyday, where they were putting out videos like every day.
Every day, yeah.
Yeah, wow, that feels like a lifetime ago. Simon and Martina times.
Soy und Dorito.
But yeah, I feel like I would never want to watch reaction videos for like my very favorite groups if I'm not familiar with the reactors, because I'm like afraid that they're going to say something that I won't want to hear, or that I will think that their reaction is not genuine, and then it's going to sully it.
Yeah.
I feel like what we've realized after we've done, what did you say, Jane? Like 93 videos?
Yeah, we're at 90. Today was our
Wow.
94th video.
Holy shit.
Which
Yeah.
is crazy. But after doing all of these, we definitely realize that people who watch our videos want their opinions validated, and when they are not, they get angry. And so, like, because it's fine to have opinions, but not in the K-pop world.
Yeah, I
Like,
was gonna
they
ask
really
what
get
has
so
been the
mad.
reaction to your reactions, because our show is educational, right? But every once in a while, we make our opinions known, and that can be really dangerous, like you said, in the K-pop world. So like you guys are primarily peddling your opinions. How's the water out there?
there are a few groups that we don't do reactions for because we don't like those groups.
Good
Or we don't do them if we feel like we can't do the reaction, the like it justice.
Yeah,
If
so
that makes
sometimes we'll
sense.
actually mean to react. We'll watch a video, and then at the end we'll be like, I didn't like that. Did you like that? No, let's not do that.
Yeah.
Because we just realize it's not what's entertaining. People don't like seeing that. And it's not very fun to watch someone not enjoy something as well, And it's like, I feel like I personally would love to watch a reaction where somebody just rips it apart. But that's me because I love the mess, But that's not what most of the K-pop fandom is about. They want to know that, yes, we love their bias, and
We saw
we
that
know their
moment.
name.
Yeah.
We saw that moment. We
Yeah.
called it out. We know the history. Like,
We
some
know
of
the
our
lore, we
characters.
know the symbolism, like all of that. They're checking it. But also, what I've noticed about reaction videos, at least for our channel, maybe it's because we're a newer channel, is we don't have fans of like us as reactioners. I think we have fans of like, the groups that we are reacting to. So we'll have like differing opinions per video because
Yeah.
it's like drawing like the Danities, like the K Daniel fans, or
Sure.
whoever, like the
Oh yeah,
Shiny
our
fans.
K Daniel fan. I also think it's because we are so obsessed with K Daniel, like
we like
K
him a
Danny.
lot.
Like
K Danny?
K Danny.
Ooh, nickname basis already. K Danny.
The K Danny fans love us because they can tell how genuinely we're obsessed with him too.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what it comes down to, is like our videos that do best are the ones that we're like, I love this.
But I think generally overall it's like pretty positive. It's just like usually we'll get like one or two like comments that are like not as fun or not as nice. But,
I have
like,
haters.
but like generally speaking, it's like most of the people who come watch seem to enjoy it.
A lot of
Like,
people love it. I mean, because generally we love everything we see. Most of the time we're as hyped to see it, And even if it's new, we're like, okay, we're like down to watch it.
And even if we do at time, if we have ever, I don't think we have, if we do say like a little more critical about like certain groups, it's never like we don't like the people doing it. It's always
Sure.
like, like song choice, or like, like this isn't like the genre of music that I usually listen to, or like stuff like that, where things that are like have nothing to do with like these like idols who've like worked so hard to get where they are, and like are all very talented people. So
Yeah.
so it's
I think that's the biggest thing is the three of us, because we're all in the entertainment industry. The three of us, like Jane and I, are primarily actors, and then Chuck is a professional dancer.
The dancer from the title.
So yeah, we know how freaking hard these people work, and we really respect that too, like how hard they've worked to get to where they are now, and so it's like we would never like shit on that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you're watching, like, even if one of us is what we're like, we like watched the live shows together this past year, the award shows, and even then when you see someone like miss a note or like mess up on stage or a little bit, you're just like, yeah, get them next time. Like we've all like
Yeah.
we've all like bombed and like done like bad stuff on stage before, so we understand
sure
where they're
have.
coming from, and just really appreciate and value like all the effort they put into stuff.
And nobody's more upset that they missed that note than they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're probably crying with them.
Yeah.
Like even if it's going bad, you're like, man, they're working so hard though. They're really like trying
I
to like
know.
claw themselves like into this performance, like this like 10th performance they've done in the last like week, because these award shows are all like
I can't even
on top of each other. It's like crazy. But yeah, they're also like, it's like insanely crazy how far they push things, because they're doing like insane choreography live and they're singing. It's like
And at those
impossible.
award shows, they also always like add a weird like sustained
Yeah.
bridge where they change the choreography and it confuses everyone, and they like had to stay up all night trying to remember
Yeah.
the new
I was-
bridge.
I was watching that Shiny interview on
Oh my god, it
Noonan
was so
TikTok,
good.
and Key just complaining about that extended bridge and how he was like, I'm not gonna fuck up, and then he just fucks up at that moment. And
Yeah,
he can't live
Oh.
it down amongst his members.
Oh, Key.
Yeah, Key's great.
I mean, they're veterans, and they, even
Yeah.
they.
And
Yeah.
even then.
You just and sometimes the more you think about something, the more likely you're gonna mess it up. Like I'm not gonna mess it up, and then it's because it's in your head. It like you like mess it. It's
100%.
100% happens all the time. So it's like, and all of them are so professional. The amount of training and shows they do, they are like masters of their craft. Like just in general. So it's always Wait, how do we get to the subject?
Oh,
We were
wow.
talking about
Wow.
negativity from like people watching.
What happened?
You were talking about how you guys try not to disparage the idols, even
Yes,
if you don't like what you see.
Yes. Exactly.
Yes.
We try to focus on.
We look
that.
at it holistically. We appreciate
Yeah.
all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that's important, and it's great, and it's something that I enjoy about watching your channel, because you bring a level of expertise with like Chuck's dance skills and Jane being a K-pop encyclopedia and recognizing everyone and like getting all of this stuff, but like that you actually care about it. Because I think there's a lot of like complaining, and I'm not trying to call anybody, I won't call anybody out by name, I'm not involved, but I feel like there's a lot
Oh.
of drama in the reaction world of like people who don't like or know anything about K-pop, but they know that it gets views. So they start
yeah.
doing reactions, and then there's just like they're so naive about everything, and then it riles up
yeah.
everyone in the comments, and I'm always just
Yeah.
like, the drama of that makes me sweaty. But
I do think our loyal commenters and viewers really appreciate that we do know who for the most part, and we've noticed too, we've begun to say up top like how familiar we are with the groups, but especially the ones that we're really familiar with, they really appreciate that we know like, oh, this particular idol is really great at dancing and he trained as this before, and like we know these things about these people because we've been following a lot of their careers for a long time, especially the veteran groups that have been around forever. We're just like, yeah, we know who these people are.
I go a step further and be like, for the veteran groups, I'm like, man, I can just tell their back hurts. Like you're just like I'm like,
Yeah, there's a level of
of relatability.
Yeah.
I'm just like, Key, oh man, I bet you have lower back problems. Like just.
I'm sure.
You know,
Yeah.
Oh my
they're
God.
tired.
I always
Yeah.
think that about Onu when I watch Shiny, because I always think of that one. There was like some interview where Onu was talking about how Timeen kept correcting him in the dance practice and being like, no, it's supposed to be this, like it's on the floor. And he was like, I know what it's supposed to be. That's not the
I
problem.
just can't do it. That's so relatable.
I know.
Yeah. Or anytime and Liz and Jane know this. Anytime like any of the idols do anything on their knees, I just
I was
like
gonna say knees.
I just like
Chuck
my
is always like, ooh, knees.
ooh, knees because my knees just like hurt so much all the time. So I'm just like anytime I see them do.
Chuck acts like he's like in his 90s. He's
I
always
know.
complaining
Because we
about
watch
his,
He
like, creaking
dances, so he
bones.
might as well be in his
Dude,
90s.
That's true.
My
His
back.
joints are old.
Yeah.
I mean,
have-
we'll watch Kingdom together, and anytime they do a flip,
Oh my
Chuck
God.
is just like, oof.
Ooh.
Well, and Kingdom is
That
bananas.
show is just a
Yeah.
flip contest.
Kingdom. We can talk about Kingdom
we can
too.
We can talk about it later. We can talk about Kingdom later.
Conversation.
We
That's
have
a whole
some-
other episode.
Yeah, yeah.
maybe.
We have some
Yeah.
opinions about
Docket.
it.
Yeah.
We'll put that on the
We'll talk about that
docket.
later.
And
Yes.
that shows.
We have strong opinions about Kingdom and Mnet shows. in
Okay, great.
general.
Love it. Okay, so before we get into like more K-pop kikis, I have a couple more questions about your channel. And one was, I
Okay.
think you started on this a second ago, but what is your most popular video? And like, were you surprised by the popularity of some of your videos? Or like, what has that been like, seeing what hits and what doesn't?
Actually, let me take a look at our
I think our
YouTube
most
channel.
popular video is probably Treasure, but the most popular one is actually KDA.
KDA
Yes.
is the
Is
most.
And
it?
we're like, huh?
It's like
This
40,000
one?
views.
Yeah. And I think I can understand why, because KDA has such a broad appeal over not just K-pop fans, but also like gamers. So it's just kind of a toss up. But Treasure is because we started with Treasure, and that was when they debuted with
I think we're definitely like we're kind of a YG channel, not necessarily on purpose, but like YG stands really like our videos. Like all of our Blackpink videos do well, all of our Treasure videos do well.
even Akmu. Yeah.
Oh, Akmu.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I feel like they know somehow in their hearts.
They know that your hearts are pure and
Yeah.
that you are supporting their new boys.
Some of our dance breakdowns do well too. Like the
Actually,
ones,
yeah, when we do them, they do fairly well because Chuck gets like down into the nitty gritty of like.
yeah. I talk so much
actual-
in those videos. I feel bad.
That's great though, because that's like
that's
well,
why we have you.
That's
yeah, you're the dancer.
You're
We
in the
want to
title.
know that.
That's true. Oh, I am in the title. I forgot.
It'd be weird if like Liz and I were just going off on a 20-minute tangent about dance.
Yeah. I'm just quiet.
We're just guessing. We're like, is this a moonwalk?
when he did that thing with his feet, it was cool.
I like it.
Yeah. It's-
No, I
yeah.
do have to say, Chuck, I wanted to say that in the Atlantis reaction, I really appreciated your noticing of all of the fishing imagery and the
Yeah.
choreography. I was like, Chuck sees it. I'm not
I-
crazy. Again,
I-
the validation of
Oh.
someone else
Yes.
being like, I also see that.
I don't know if they did that, if it was on purpose or if it was just like an image, like it was just like a general.
sure it was on
image
purpose.
thing. Yeah, it was like fun seeing it though. I was like, oh, that's funny. It was like a real like a cute thing that they like put into the choreo. I thought was like really fun. And
Yeah,
I
Chuck
really like
lit
that
up in
dance
real time.
too. Yeah, I was
Saw
like,
that.
oh, I saw it. It's those things, I think sometimes choreographers will put in like they're like bits like into the choreo that are kind of like silly that they'll put into something. Then like most people won't notice, but if you notice it, it's like really fun. But it doesn't happen a lot, but it's nice when you can catch it.
But I mean, we haven't cracked the code as to what does well and what doesn't.
Yeah, sometimes things just pop off, and sometimes they don't.
I mean, we
Yeah.
go off on Chang'e sometimes, and those sometimes don't do as well. And we're like,
Yeah,
"Hmm."
we really.
I think our soloist videos tend to not do as well as group ones, but that makes sense because there are more people in a group to like. So there's like usually somebody for everyone.
Yeah, maybe the group stands are harder about the reactions.
Yeah, I also
and stuff.
just wonder if like if culturally there's a difference between like being a solo stan and like a group, or like standing a solo artist as opposed to like a whole group. Because I feel like culturally in the group stuff, it's like we gotta chart, we gotta stream, we gotta support this stuff, and I feel like I don't see that as much for the solo artists because most of them are like doing fine on their own. And like Hyuna doesn't need to sell albums, like she's fine. I don't need to stream for her, she's fine. But yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I wondered if your treasure videos were so popular because of them being new, and I feel like when somebody stands a group from debut, they're like extra into it and like extra wanting to support anyone who is also supporting, because we gotta like be the best new coolest group.
Well, Jane's like really good about like standing her favorites like really early on, especially with like Treasure. I think especially because she like watched the show like when it was like first out, and she like followed up with all of them. She always knows what they're doing and stuff. So it was easy to do because she had so much like information on them already. So when you watch that video, you can tell that she's like already in it and like knows like so much. So it's like it makes it easier on me and Liz, because sometimes we don't know stuff, you know? So it's nice.
I know. I feel like I don't know anything sometimes. And I'm definitely, like, Jane is the K-pop expert, Chuck is the dance expert, and I'm just, like, there. Like, having a good time.
You
like,
need a neutral
just,
straight man character, though, to like
I am
keep
not
it
the
all.
straight man, though. But I'm just like, I like the outfits. This person's pretty.
You're the hype man, and we need those too.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's true. I'm very susceptible to a pretty face too. So
I think most
We are
people
as well.
Oh yeah, that's what that's what brought us to K-pop in the
We're
first
here
place.
for the cuties
all
only.
the pretty faces.
There's a lot of them.
yeah,
There's
I've
so
got
many
a lot
of
of K-pop
them.
boyfriends. I've got a lot of K-pop.
All of
boyfriends.
17.
Yes.
I watched your reaction to My Baby the Eights side by side because I love him so much.
We love him.
He's my favorite. He's like my favorite in 17. My bias.
Me too.
I thought S. Coops
He's
was
my
your
bias
favorite.
as well.
S. Coops is the guy I want to get a drink with because he feels like he'd be fun to get a drink with.
He
He's just
does
like-
love to drink.
Yeah,
He
I'm
does.
just like he just feels like a hey, yeah, let's grab some drinks type of guy. He has that he has that like drinker, like that Asian man's like drinker stance when he like drinks, or like one leg
does
one
this
leg
mean?
like one leg's up and like he's
Chuck,
like
this
Oh my
very
god, he
specific.
does sit like that when
Yeah.
he drinks.
He does
Yeah.
sit like this.
That's
though,
so
which is the funny
funny.
thing.
as soon as I saw him, I was like, hey, I bet he does that a lot.
You're like, that guy, his
That
knee is
guy.
up. I
Yeah.
can drink with him.
Yeah, it's very fun. But yeah, I like the 8 a lot, partially because he was a b-boy when he started.
Yes.
So like I always like stand the b-boys and crews. That's why I like K Danny a lot too. K Danny.
Okay, Danny.
love to.
Hey, Danny.
Well, it's funny too because my brother's name is Danny Kim, like, and so when we first started talking about K Danny, I was like, my brother? He can't do that.
Yeah, it's great.
I was curious because Liz, you were saying like you've been listening to K-pop since the 90s, and like at first you were keeping up with it and then you kind of like petered out and then now you're tuning back in. Have the way that you guys interact with K-pop, like keeping up with it or staying up to date or whatever, has that changed since you guys started doing the reaction videos? Like, do you consume K-pop any differently now that you're reactors?
Well, I try to wait until I can react with them to watch certain ones, whereas normally I would probably just watch it right away.
Mm-hmm.
But also, we're all guilty of like watching the ones we want to watch right away anyway.
It's so hard.
We've lied before.
Yeah, because it's hard because we've got schedules and sometimes we can't all do it right away, and when my bias comes out, when my boy Beck Young comes out with a video, I'm gonna watch it right away.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna wait for that. I'm gonna watch it 5 times and then we're gonna react and I'm gonna pretend it's new.
I've never seen this before.
I stopped watching a lot of other I used to watch reactors a lot. Like I would watch like some of them I've like watched all their videos, but I watched less of them now because after we started reacting for some reason, I think it just maybe it's because
probably
I don't
that.
like it. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
that same reason that comedy writers don't like to watch comedies, because it's like, this is my job and I don't want it to like interfere and cloud my mind or whatever.
Yeah, part of it is like I don't want to have my opinion influenced by their opinion, or type of thing. So I've like noticed that I don't watch a lot of other reactors as much. I still watch sometimes, but it's not as much anymore. But other than that, if anything, it's made me like more. I'll like watch more K-pop stuff now that we started reacting. Just like those like random video, those like holes you fall down, where it's just like compilation holes you fall down, like stuff like that.
Whereas before I would watch a few selects, I would keep up with like the stuff that I love. Now I try to keep up with everything, and I'll just keep tabs open on all of the news sites, and then I'll also keep up with like Pan or like the Coup.
Oh yeah, Jane is our K-pop gossip news
I
source.
love when I always know that there's a good, big, juicy bomb in K-pop because Jane will text me every single time and I say, it's time to gossip because something awesome happened.
Well, now that I'm like on these Korean sites because I can read Korean, I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna drop the international fandom anytime now, and I wonder what the fallout's gonna be. So it's been interesting kind of tracing it back and seeing the different reactions between the different.
Yeah, I started actually following this guy named Denkyu, who's like a Taiwanese person who lives in Korea, who will like put out a video every day about like what's going on in K-pop basically. So I get it. It's interesting because Jane will send me the text and be like, "Hey, look what happened," and I was like, "Yeah."
Every day I send them.
Yeah, and I'm like, "Yeah, I just saw that too, but from the Taiwanese." Like the Mandarin side of it.
And I'll be like, wait, who is that?
And I'll be like, these comments are crazy in Korean.
And then I'll be like, the Mandarin people are okay about it. It's like very fun.
That is always so fascinating to me, the like different reactions across different countries or when different things happen. Like, for example, Win from Wavy was like caught out with like 2 hot girls that he went to school with, and he was like smoking and shit. But all the Korean fans were so disappointed, and how could he? And all of the Chinese fans were like, why did he wear that outside? The grandpa. And they were so upset about what he was wearing. And
nothing
else in
else.
the pictures.
That's really funny. I do think that one huge thing about that is just how different Korea is culturally than the States or other Asian countries. It's just like K-pop idols are held to standards that are very different than anywhere else in the world, and like American pop stars could never understand that. Like, huge scandals break, and here it would just, nobody would even write about it. They would just be like, okay, whatever. Okay, who cares?
Yeah, even across Asia, it's like very like, it's like talking to Jane and Liz, like just like I'll hear like Taiwanese people or people in mainland China who like have their comments on a situation and just being like, oh yeah, it's like Asia's a very huge place and there are a lot of different cultures, so people like they're all gonna react differently to the same situation. So it's always like when something happens, okay, well, let's make sure we know exactly how everyone feels about this, type of situation.
We
But it's
stay
been
away
cool.
from all of that on our channel, though. We
Yeah,
don't
we
talk
don't talk
about
about
any scandals or anything because we're just like, that's not what this is about.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about that.
For sure. I totally get that. We usually talk about scandals that are in the past unless there's something pretty funny and juicy. Because once the dust is settled, it's easier to like go over like, okay, here's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a risk if you're talking about it in the thick of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because things change so quickly. Because, these last couple of months have been crazy. And the flip-flopping within a day has been insane. Like, based on what information comes out, people will, like, be like, oh, I'll take this side. And, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's wild. Okay, wait, I have one more question about the channel. And that is, but it will probably lead into better talks, which is, are there any groups that you have like gotten really into because you had to cover them for the channel and now you're in love?
I wonder which one for us. No, very obviously. Liz, go ahead.
Oh, look at that carrot bong.
Yeah.
We really got into 17. Like, Jane led the charge, and then I followed suit, and Chuck was dragged into it, and now he had no choice but to know everything about everyone in
Really
17.
had no choice. We didn't give him an option. Yeah, because we reacted to Home Run, which was like in October, and then I think it all started because Liz, I showed you that encore, that 20-minute encore.
Yeah, and I was like, this is
Encore.
amazing. I love them.
But for me, when I watched it, I was like, oh, these guys like have so much agency in what they're putting out. They clearly love what they're doing. They're not just like doing what the company says. It seems like they're actually enjoying the idol life. So that's how I got in.
And there's just someone for everyone in that group.
It's true.
And it's crazy. I never thought when Jane first started being like talking about 17, I was like, there's so many boys in that group. There are 13 people. There are like 1 million of them. How am I going to get them straight? And now I know like their personalities and like what they're like exactly. And it's just so like, I haven't been like this since I was a child. Like I haven't been like this about any groups since like HOT. So it's just crazy. But I love it. Jonghan is my bias.
Oh, good
because
choice. Good choice.
He has dog whisper energy. He has calm, assertive energy.
He will also do what it takes to win, even if that means cheating, and I respect that.
He's just
respect
very
that too.
powerful. He's just so like confident in who he is without having to like be loud or forceful. And that's not my personality, but that's what I vibe with.
But Liz, you liked Wonu first.
I did like Wonu first because I thought he was hot.
He is hot.
He is hot. He's the quiet, hot type. And
Yeah,
Liz
I like him
also likes
quiet,
that.
You know.
She
I
was
like
like,
him
who's
quiet.
DK? And then she saw how crazy he can be. And she was like, I think maybe Wanu's the one for me.
Yeah, that's exactly how it went. I thought DK was cute, but then he was too hyper. And there can only be one.
Yeah.
In my
'Cause
life,
Liz, yes.
yeah.
DK and Liz can be similar in some ways.
And then I was like, ooh, Wonu hasn't said a word, and he's so handsome. Love him.
Well, when someone's quiet, you can just project what you like in a human being onto them. It's like a blank slate.
I like Hoshi.
I was about to ask.
Oh, how
And
did
I'll
you like
just leave
his
it.
recent solo debut?
So
Well,
sexy.
we reacted to it. We went
Yeah.
crazy.
We were like, excuse me? I mean,
We were shook. We were shook.
we were shook. Because we had seen him do solo performances before.
Yeah,
So I
and
was
he's always
thinking-
been slutty.
Yeah, he was probably going to do something in the vein of, like, Taemin's move. Because he always was trying to do that vibe.
I thought it was I texted Shannon and I was like, this feels like the Venn diagram of Wonho and Taemin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
little
We
bit,
are,
yeah.
and Wonho, speaking of Wonho, we
Wano.
are hoes
Oh,
for
boy.
Wonho.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
man.
are one hose.
Who isn't at this point, though, really? He's just like telling everyone, like, you
I
will all
love-
worship me.
I love how ostentatious he is on his Instagram.
Oh,
The
just
thirst traps are like next
Peaches.
level. It is just incredible.
everywhere.
I've been trying to indoctrinate one of my friend groups into liking K-pop for years, and all it took was a Wonu video, and they're obsessed with it. I'm like, I've been showing you so many different varieties of genres and like styles, and this is what I guess everybody likes.
I mean, yeah.
The muscles.
I mean,
You can't say no to those abs.
he's pretty jacked.
He's Captain Korea.
Yeah,
He's
he could be
so
Captain.
jacked.
He's
so
pretty
crazy.
jacked. That's like the understatement of the year.
Just that guy kind of works out sometimes.
He's kind of thick.
He's crazy.
He looks fit. He looks fit, I think.
It looks like he hits the gym like once or twice a week. You know?
A little bit sometimes, maybe.
He likes to stay in shape.
Yeah, it looks like he likes to break a sweat once in a while.
But yeah, it's so wild how shy he acts all of the time. Like, whenever he's on video or on anything, he like acts so shy. But his
he's, like, so
Instagram is
small, yeah.
crazy.
It's the quiet ones you gotta look out for.
I think
It's
people
true.
like the reversal of it, of him being like this shy boy.
He also has
That
such a
idol
baby
duality.
face.
They love
People are
that,
obsessed with
the
duality.
reversal charm.
Yeah, every
Chuck,
time
is there a group that you started liking more after we started reacting? And it better be 17.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know
I'm
much about.
JK.
No, I mean, I didn't know much about 17. I think I noticed them a while when Nice actually first came out, because I was like, oh, this choreography looks a lot like. Are we allowed to swear on this?
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah, Shit Kings is like a
yeah.
dance group that I like followed back when I was younger. Back when I was younger, and like their choreography and style like felt really in line with that. So I was like, oh, very interesting. They're like super clean, which I really liked. So I like noticed them before, but after doing reacting, I've obviously been bombarded with like the hurricane of like of 17. But yeah, they caught my eye mostly because of they're always trying something different. If like Jane's comment about agency is like very true. Like you can tell that they really want to do something creative for all their live shows. Like they try to do something different every single time and want to do something interesting. So I really like them. As for like just like personally, other groups that I've gotten more into, I don't know. Maybe Stacy Girls is going down. Like I really
Yeah, Stacy Girl that's
yeah,
going down.
like when they came out, I was like, oh, this they
How
have
do you
like
think? How do you think?
That was perfect.
that was
Thank
Great.
you.
That was a spot-on impression.
impersonation. But yeah, I really like them. I like their vibe and their.
We love them.
They have I like their recent song was like stuck in my head for a very very long time.
It's climbing up the charts right now.
Yeah, spoiler alert. I think that's my recommendation for the end of the episode. But
Oh.
yeah, it's so I know I'm like I feel like I'm late to the train, but like goddamn, what a catchy song!
It's
I can't,
so
it's
catchy.
just
And sad.
addicting.
Yeah. I also like
Black
the.
Eyed Peas,
I really like the chorus choreo. I think it's super fun.
With
Like
the little punchy
yeah.
arms and the
Yeah.
those
yeah,
are
it's
good
like
too.
it's so cute and like most people can do it if they like watch it and it's like really matches the groove of the song. It's like I say it a lot, but it's like a really effective choreo where it's like it would just like stick in your head and be there forever, like you know.
That's one of my favorite Chuck compliments is that was effective, or he'll say that they're really capable dancers. He's so like so polite, so respectful.
I'll be like, these seem like nice. They seem like real talented young people.
Yeah, we're like one of the best dance groups. Like, there's so many dance groups.
Yeah. But yeah, I try to be. I'm always very political, diplomatic when I comment on stuff. Because be like, oh yeah. I think when I say like, oh, they're one of the best dancers I've seen, it's always because like there's just like so many dancers out there that are so good. So I don't like putting a label on it. It's so subjective. It's like saying like this is the best comedian in the world. It's like some people don't think he's funny. You know, like
Right.
but yeah. recently I've been really into Unji because we were watching Crime Scene. And
Oh, yeah.
I got really into
A-Pink and G.
Oh, yeah.
That's Shannon's number one
A-Pink
favorite
is my
girl
favorite
group.
girl group.
Really? Are you a Pink Panda?
I am a Pink Panda from the beginning. A-Pink was my first group,
Oh.
and because I liked A-Pink, I started watching We Got Married because at the time Now had just
right.
gotten married to Taemin, and that's how I found Shiny. So like it's like
Oh.
A-Pink is my avalanche ball that like did everything. So
I mean, I always liked A-Pink, but like I'm like really into Unji right now. I'm like, oh yeah, she's cool.
she's so talented, and if you've never watched Reply 1997, I must insist that you
I have to
do.
go watch it.
I love Reply 1997 because my parents are from, not Busan, but Daegu. So
Okay.
when I see Eunji, I'm like, oh, she's a for real Cheongsan girl. Like, she's just, that's who she is, and that's who she is in the drama. So it's such a delight to watch her, like, flaunt
Yeah.
her
Cute.
accent.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's my favorite. That's my favorite drama of all time. I've seen it a bajillion times. But yeah, she's so talented. That's a really good choice. I love that. Yeah, the A-Pink news recently, if anybody was worried, I'm okay. It's okay. It's going to be fine. This is what happens now. It's okay.
I missed it.
But they can still, you know.
Sure.
Yeah, supposedly they haven't disbanded. Supposedly she hasn't even left the group. She just left the company, and like we have yet to see what
we
kind-
talk about
what
that on the show all
what
the
works.
time. That's like the new trend, like starting with like Girls' Generation and such. That like members leave the company, but they're like, we didn't disband. We could get together at any time.
Right.
And I'm waiting for the 2 p.m. comeback to prove that is
That's
actually true.
2
Yeah,
p.m.
2 p.m.
is coming back. So
I know.
I'll believe it when I see it. Okay.
I feel like people like to cite Brown Eyed Girls a lot, but didn't they come back together and sign under
They've
the
like
same label together?
yeah, they've like always been together like the whole time. None of them ever like went separate and were like, but I'm always a brown eyed. Like I think they've always
Yeah,
they're the
they've
longest
stayed
group.
under the same company,
Isn't
but or
there-
stayed together under the same company. But
Isn't there a rumor that Girls' Generation is supposed to do something this year too?
Again, I'll believe it when I see it, but that would be great. I'll take it. But
GOT7 did the same thing. They were like, we're still a group even though we're not.
I
We'll
think it's
see
the
it.
new
Well,
popular
yeah.
thing to do. Like, it's less heartbreaking for the fans to say, like, we are disbanded. So I totally get why people do it. Because I always wondered, we talk about it we've done episodes about, like, the year 2000 and the year 2001. And, like, if HOT and, like, those guys, if they had known, like, would they have been like, we're done? Because I feel like people don't do that
I mean,
anymore. They
they
want to
did-
keep the door open a little bit.
They did get back together
Because
for that
of
one
Infinite Challenge.
program.
Yeah, they-
Yeah,
Yes.
Infinite Challenge.
Which I lost my.
I cried.
Oh.
I didn't know anything about them, and I cried so hard through that Infinite Challenge.
I remember. I
The
sent you that.
Totogas, right?
Hmm?
The Totogas, those episodes are called.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I just remember being like, Liz, you know that they got back together like for this show, and Liz was like, what?
SES
Are
too.
you
I
saying?
Yeah, SES also did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool, our favorite, Cool. Got back
oh my
together
god,
too.
cool.
KJK, Kim Jong Kook's, and
The Turbo.
Oh yeah, did
Turbo.
Turbo do it?
Turbo did it too.
They did. Yeah, one of our listeners today, they're building us a nice little like a wikia of the podcast, which is adorable. And one of
that's
our
great.
listeners is making a playlist of every song we've ever even mentioned in passing
Wow.
on the show.
Wow.
Oh.
It has thousands of
wild.
songs in it. It's crazy. But she was trying to find today songs from Cool's album entitled Best. And she was like, this is an SEO
It's
nightmare.
impossible. Yeah.
Cool Best K-pop, like that nothing will
That's
come
really
up.
funny.
Never
You need to type it in Korean.
Yeah, we always talk about how Cool has the worst SEO of any
There you
K-pop
go.
group. It's so hard to find anything.
No,
it's
actually,
cool.
there was a soloist named I. She just went by I. She was under WM. It was like after Oh My Girl. Her name was just I.
No one will ever find you if you do things like that.
Well, when Cool was cool, it was not really international at the time.
Right.
So SEO really wasn't a thing back then. They didn't have to think about it back then.
For sure.
We would rent videos from the Korean grocery or the Korean video store in our and watch Gayo Top 10, and that's how I got to watch live performances, was on a VHS of a Gayo Top 10 in the 90s.
That's so
That's
fun.
how I watched live performances.
Just me copying Hyori's 10-minute choreo. Of my
And then
mom's,
you'd have to pause it and rewind it and then do it again to like.
It's like, okay,
Oh,
the
man.
hand goes here.
That's adorable.
It's very cute.
All right. Well, I think that's all the questions I had about like the channel. Do you have any more questions, Angelica, or should we just? I want to know what your kingdom feelings are.
Yeah, let's
Oh,
get into
man.
the fun stuff.
We have a lot.
We have a lot.
We can't say it publicly though. We can't say it
okay.
publicly
Oh, okay. Can't be on the podcast. All right. Well, then.
because we have
People will charge our hosts.
people will dox us. People will
yeah,
dox
we will,
us.
we will
I'll
not
get-
be safe.
All right.
I'll get swatted probably.
Fair enough, but I still want to know what they are.
After.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not watching this season of Kingdom other than watching the boys' performances on YouTube because I'm really bitter about the stuff. So I'm just like, not.
Oh, that's right. Oh, so many
watching.
layers. There's so many layers to
of
this.
disappointment.
I will
Disappointment.
say
Kingdom.
about Kingdom, I will say that my ultimate is on the program right now, and he wasn't even in the first two performances, and I felt so cheated. I'm obsessed with Rowan. I think he is the most beautiful man in the universe.
Right. They don't
From
even
SF9?
mention his
Oh, from
absence.
SF9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is gorgeous.
Yes,
he's
he's
the
a gorgeous
only
man.
member of SF9 whose name I know.
Liz has a pillow with his face on it. I bought her a pillow with his face on it for Christmas.
Nice.
It was a great gift. Even my husband was like, I get it.
I asked her husband first. I was like, sure.
That's very respectful of
Is
you.
this okay?
Well, even because so I was introduced to Roan because we've also watched over 20 Korean dramas together during quarantine, and so we
Adorable.
just like really went in. So we watched Extraordinary You together, which Roan is one of the leads in. And when we were watching it, my husband watched it with us, and he was like, "Who is this man? What?" And Sherman was literally like, "How does he look like that?
Yeah.
Like how?" It's confounding how beautiful this man is. Anyway, I love Rowan.
But all this to say, like, they know his appeal, right? And they didn't even mention that he would be absent in the second round.
Yeah.
Because they
performances.
knew that people would probably not tune in if they knew.
And then put him in the preview for the third round, and he wasn't even, like, in it until the next episode, like, the second episode
Yeah.
of that round. It's like,
They're-
you guys,
They're messing with us.
Yeah.
They're messing with me personally,
Yeah,
and
it's
I
an
take
attack on
offense to
Liz,
it.
honestly.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, I watched Road to Kingdom obsessively in early quar last year, and I really enjoyed it. But I
watched all
wasn't
the-
sure
Who
if I
were
could do
you
it this
both
time.
rooting for?
I went in just like wanting to see what it was gonna be about. I used to be a pretty big Pentagon stan, and now I have
That's right.
a lot of bitterness that
Yes.
that clouds absolutely everything, and I
Yeah.
cannot have opinions about
Oh.
Pentagon anymore. But
I'm
I fell in
sorry.
love
Is
with the
it
boys.
because
and
of what I
became
think it's
obsessed with-
probably about?
I mean, we talked about the Edon stuff so much on this show, like everybody knows that, and like that was a big thing. But like after the fact, I feel like a veil got lifted, and there's like we feel really bad for Yenon, and like
Yeah.
I don't know, I can't do Pentagon anymore. My heart has been like,
My sweet baby Anon is not taken care of in that group, and I can't overlook it.
Oh, that's so heartbreaking. I would be upset.
Yeah.
But I ended up like getting very, very into the boys like the week that Kingdom started. So that's
I'm
Road
the
to Kingdom.
Stealer.
So that's why I wanted to
Sorry.
start watching it, because I was like, oh, I think I love the boys, and so I do love the boys. I think they're incredibly
They're great.
talented,
They're
and they
really,
have
really,
like
really good.
they have shiny energy while having like a ton of people, and I just really appreciate them. But like, yeah, the way that everyone is having to outdo each other and themselves to keep up on this show. Every week when I check in with the performances, I'm like, golly.
It makes me nervous. I'm just like waiting for somebody to like jump
their
off
head
of
open.
something that was too high, or
Yeah.
ooh, they didn't land that triple backflip.
They
or
lit the
whatever.
fire paper wrong and they burn their
Yeah.
eyebrows off.
When I watch it, I'm just like, man, these older idols are gonna hurt themselves. Like,
Yeah.
And they do. One of them did, and
Yeah.
they continue to
I mean-
fall off from. Was it the boys? Was it Chuyeon who was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
he had
jump
hurt
in.
his ankle and he was like, I'm still gonna do
I won't
this.
Yeah.
because I'm very stubborn. Yeah, he's
No,
very
that's-
stubborn.
When he did that, I was like, yeah, I mean, that's what you do. Like, you gotta hurt you're like, he's like, okay, I got a sprained ankle, but I gotta do the show. Like, it's
Listen,
like, yeah.
Boa always says that to be an idol, one of the skills you need to have is like taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Listen
that's
to
a skill
Boa.
that you need to have.
Ain't
So,
nobody been in the game for longer than she
for
has.
real.
That's
yeah.
fucking true.
We always listen to Boa around.
Boa was who I wanted to be when I was 15. I was like, I want to be Boa.
She's
That's a great role model.
I think I auditioned for her movie or whatever.
For
Make your move.
Yeah.
We watched that on the show. We did a movie club.
Oh, cool.
What did you think
I
of it?
remember auditioning for it. Yeah, I was.
It
not
wasn't very
great.
good, but I loved it.
Yeah,
No,
agreed.
yeah, we had a good laugh with it. Like Derek is the plot is very dumb and how they take it so seriously. Like it's a good fun time for that like kind of movie. I think it's
Oh,
perfect
yeah.
actually.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, it's been so very fun to chat with you guys about all of these things, and I can't wait to hear your kingdom opinions when we're done with the podcast. But for now, we're going to take a quick ad break, and we'll be right back with our random game. Attention K-pop shoppers, K-Star Music LA is the newest spot in Los Angeles to get all your favorite K-pop goodies. You can visit them at 3500 West 6th Street in Los Angeles or shop anytime at kstarmusic.online. And listeners have asked me about K-pop get a special free gift when you use code KSTAR with AMA at checkout. So whether you have albums to pre-order, light sticks to collect, or just need some more Kakao Friends plushies, you can always visit K-Star Music in person or at kstarmusic.online. All right, we are back. And this week, the random number generator gave us a person that we all love. A person known on this podcast as my boy Crush. It's my boy. It's Crush. Solo artist Crush.
Crush.
Kurasha.
Yes.
Exactly.
Crush was born Shin Hyo-sop in 1992, and he debuted as an R&B singer in 2012. He's released countless singles with other people, so many OST soundtrack appearances, it's wild, but 4 EPs and 2 full studio albums. And currently Crush is under P Nation, and he's in the military.
Yes, he is. It's beautiful life.
Oh, this guy? Wait, he's Beautiful Life guy?
Yes, it's Beautiful Life, guys.
We hated that drama.
Most people, that drama was very, very divisive, but it was still really popular. Because when we talked
Which
about
one was
drama
it?
sound,
So popular.
Goblin.
Goblin.
Oh, I also wasn't into it. I tried. I started
We
watching
watched
it.
all of it.
Yeah.
We did. We watched all of it so angrily. I think from a Western lens, it was hard for us. But maybe if we grew up,
Was
in
it the
Korea, we
age
would feel
difference?
differently.
Because that's what it
For
was
me,
for
yes.
me.
I could not
couldn't-
get over
couldn't
it.
I
get
couldn't
over
do
it.
it.
I was like,
couldn't get
this
over it.
man is a full-on pedophile.
Yeah, I was like, she's a child, literally
It
a
was.
child. Like,
know.
I don't care. The fairy tale isn't doing it for me.
I don't know. I was from Taiwan, and I was still like this age difference.
Well, Kim Go-eun, her first ever project is like Korea's version of Lolita.
Oh, cool.
That was like how she made her debut as an actress. And so it's
Oh,
like,
no,
why
and then
would
she
you
was in
do it
this?
again? Yeah, why would you like evoke that again?
Yeah, yeah.
I just-
Ooh, that feels like a grosser. That makes that even worse for me, to be
I
honest.
It was a choice. It was a choice.
Yeah.
It was a choice. And
But
Crush
you know what?
sang a
Crush had
beautiful
nothing to
song
do
on
with
it.
those
Crush had nothing
choices.
to do with it.
And we will not allow that to
Just-
sully his random game.
I mean, he just put out a banger. That's all he did. He just
Yeah,
put out
it's not his fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crush is
Let's watch
loved
it.
on this podcast because I love Crush so much. Do any of our guests have any feelings about Crush? Because the listeners know how I feel about Crush.
I love Crush. I love Crush. I love how experimental he is, and I love that he's gotten like even weirder like after joining P Nation. His music videos have been like all over the place, and I freaking love it.
Yeah,
And he has, like, a
Ohio
very
was
unique
like
voice.
so
Ohio
good.
was really something. My husband, who
good.
usually doesn't pay attention to my K-pop, was like shook by Ohio because that piano stuff was so crazy. And then
So
the music
good.
videos really wild. And I loved all his quarantine music videos, like the one he did with Joy. We talked
Yes.
about that a lot on the show.
And the one he
Yes.
did with his dog.
Oh, that's right. I had not
Nighty
bought on repeat early pandemic.
That is a
'Cause he
great
just-
song.
He's just so good. He uses his voice like an instrument, and I love it.
Yeah,
he
really
absolutely does. And I always say that I like Crush because I feel like Crush understands his own voice. So whenever he gets to write things, I feel like he writes the best things. Like when all his collabs are so good because like the Crush part is perfect because he knows exactly what the Crush part has to be.
Yeah. I love the trifecta of like Zico, Crush, and Dean at the time when they were all like in each other's stuff.
That was really a moment where they
It
were
was.
really overlapping so much. Anyway, Crush. So we love Crush, and we're going to watch Crush's most popular music video, which is the duet that he did with Taeyeon in 2016, and it's called Don't Forget.
Yeah.
So, all right, here we go. Cue your video up. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, here we go. We got some title cards. Oh my god, my crush in his beanie.
I love this song. It's true, like his voice is, you could just listen to it all day long.
Oh my god, this haircut is very cute too. His hair's so fluffy.
I like it, yeah.
Okay, harmonies.
Pretty.
It's a very snowy, like very snowy setting here.
Yeah, a lot of steam coming out of his mouth. It must be very cold.
It's winter, baby.
We don't know what that's like here.
Are they in Japan? I think he is in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
I don't recognize that writing, so I'm not sure.
it's not
Japan.
I
Korean.
love Crush's like high voice and his low voice.
He's so good at both. It's truly his falsetto range is like very impressive.
This is very romantic lyrics.
Just waiting for Taeyeon to like come in like a whisper.
Me too. I'm like, where is she?
Ooh, I miss Japanese convenience stores.
It's convenience stores in
Convenience.
Asia.
Sidebar, but wow, they have the best snacks. Japanese 7-Elevens are unparalleled.
Agreed.
Man, I really can't
is
get
such a
over
hot
this
boy
haircut.
haircut.
It's a good haircut.
Jinx.
I like his jacket too. It doesn't look like the kind you should be out in the snow in though. Like
Yeah,
what's the
leather
material?
jacket. That's not good for the weather.
Here she comes. Nope, not yet.
Not yet. Emo Crush is the best.
Yeah, Emo Crush is the best. I'm a huge Zion T fan, and that's how I found Crush, through all of their emo duets. And I was like, who is this beautiful, beautiful voice? And he made exactly the kind of shit
Nice
I wanted to
run.
listen to.
Ah. Oh.
There she is.
Woo!
Pretty.
Oh, could
Very
Amoeba
sweet.
Culture not afford to get Taeyeon in the music video?
No, I guess not.
Probably busy.
They couldn't fly her out to Japan. She was too busy. She was like, I'm busy. You can put my name on it. It's fine.
She was in the video for their recent duet from last year though, so they made up for it eventually.
P Nation has more money, I guess.
Yeah. Her voice is the quintessential K-pop voice.
I love her. My hair is dyed this way because her hair is
Oh,
dyed this way,
always.
by the way.
Yeah, I see it.
Look at that
Pretty.
beautiful snow.
Oh, I miss snow. Pretty.
Yay.
Yay! Crush!
All right.
That was so pretty.
That was nice.
That was
It's always
nice.
good to watch my boy crush. That's why he's my boy, because it's always the right time for a crush song.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this brings us to the section of the show where we do weekly recommendations and shout out something that we think our listeners should check out, whether it's new or old or what have you. And I already spoiled that I've not been keeping up with K-pop lately because of shiny comebacks, which take up like really, they put my brain in overdrive and like they went away. So I've been having to rest. But I did finally listen to the Stacey song ASAP that I think has been out for like a month or two now. But goddamn, if that is not
So good.
an excellent song. So to our listeners who are like the boy group stands like us and don't check out new girl group music, if you haven't heard this one yet, like give it a listen. It's something special and I like it. So that's my rec this week.
My recommendation is also for a girl group. I haven't watched the full episode yet, but ITZY recently went on Knowing Brothers, and I've seen some clips on the YouTube channel already, and like each one of them shows off a different special skill. And I believe it's Ryujin who does a really excellent medley of boy covers, and she does like Super M, and she does Don't Call Me. And it's really, I mean, they're all so good, but they're really great. And then each one of them does like a little musical talent. And then Yuna used to play field hockey, so she busts out her field hockey skills.
Oh my God.
Knowing
She's so
Brothers,
good.
it's
She's so good at field hockey.
she
Wasn't
is
like-
really good at field hockey. She was just like bouncing the ball on the I don't even know what it's called. What is the hockey stick?
hockey
It's just
stick?
called a stick. It's just called a stick.
Yeah, didn't she? Was she? I don't. She was like on a champion team or like placed. Like they definitely placed or something. Like she's like super athletic.
Yeah, I think they talk more. I think they give like a little bit of a summary on the episode, but the clip I watched was not subbed, so I don't know what they said.
Story of my life.
To Noonas team, anything you guys the listeners should check out? Any good words you want to spread? No pressure if not, but
17. Stan 17.
Always worth spreading the good word of
Hitori
17.
janai.
Hitori janai. I'm dancing. You can't see.
it was great though.
But I'm dancing.
I
Actually,
don't
like
really have. Sorry, go ahead, Chuck.
weekly a lot too. If you guys after school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like weekly, after school, and Stacey ASAP kind of go together.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should check out both of those.
They were both so cute. Weekly was very cute in
Yeah.
after school.
Also, weekly really strong dancers. Like one of the stronger like new.
Would you call them capable?
Yeah, I would say I'd say they're very capable and effective with their choreography.
yeah,
They give me 17 vibes.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
do.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
after
I mean, they
school.
covered a lot of 17 before they debuted, I think.
Yeah. But the like playfulness of the after school choreography was a lot like 17. It reminded us of like Snap Shoot and like a couple of their other like
Yeah.
fun
Like Adore
ones.
You and Pretty You, the ones that have like
Yeah.
stories.
Yeah.
After
Yeah,
school
yeah.
it seems to have the thing.
And the like pantomime choreo too.
Yeah, and I talked about it on the show, but they have a B-side, Weekly as a B-side on their new album called Yummy that I like love, and they only performed it one time, but I
Oh.
want to learn the dance, but like there's only a single video of it, so it's going to take me like time to figure it out, but I want to do it because it's really good.
I have to check it out. I haven't seen that one yet.
It's a great song, and they did it at like a showcase, but like only one time, so but it was great.
Gotta check it out.
All right. Well, to Noonas and a dancer, thank you so much for joining us. Where can our listeners find all of you individually and as a team? Should you want to be found by them?
You can find us on YouTube at Two Noonas and a Dancer, spelled out two, the number two, Noonas, Noonas, and a Dancer. We're there. And I think
Post
we
it up
have
there, yeah.
we
We have a Twitter.
We do have a Twitter. Hold on, let me look at it. I always forget what it is.
You sure it's not just two Noonas and a dancer?
It might be different because I remember it's Two Noonas Dancer, because I don't think I could
Fit it all.
Maybe it was too long or something. Something was off about it. Two Noonas Dancer.
Well, that's great. And y'all should all go watch and follow them. Is there anything else like you have coming up in your personal lives, or any other, like, do you want to shout out your personal Twitters or anything people should follow you
let's
for
do that.
otherwise?
This is Liz talking. You can find me on the internet. I have great SEO. I'm Liz on Twitter, Lizz on Twitter, and Liz Party on Instagram, Lizz Party, and yeah, that's me.
And you can find me on all the things at Jane. That's Jane #1 Kim. So Jane 1 Kim, and you'll be able to find me.
I am not on social media as much, but if you want to follow me for my occasional thing, it's Chuckma, ChuckMMA, ChuckMaa, for everything. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, it was really nice having you guys here. It's always fun to chat with people. And so to all of our listeners, please go subscribe to their YouTube channel. I am a subscriber and have been since day one, and I'm very proud of that.
Thank
Yay,
you.
thank you.
And if you would like to find us, we can be found at AMA K-Pop Pod on all of the things, Linktree/AMA K-Pop Pod for all the links, Discord, Spotify, YouTube, all of our stuff. And a reminder, we are doing a call for listener misheard lyrics. We've been getting some via email.
That's
They
fun.
are very funny. We've gotten some from like a French listener that was explaining exactly what I wanted. This is what it sounds like in French. This is what it means like in French. So funny. So please send those in if you have them so that we can do an episode about them soon. And
Send those to the email amakpoppod@gmail.com.
Yes, please. Thank you. You could also, if you want, leave a voicemail 181-AMA-KPOP5. We have a P.O. box as well.
P.O. Box 26096, Los Angeles, California 90026.
Yes, and I should go check it tomorrow because I know I have Mino photo cars waiting for me.
Oh, I'm glad that you're going to go tomorrow because I drove by the post office today and I was like, oh, I haven't been to the P.O. box in a while. And I like turned around and then the street was closed in order to like go around to get to the post. So I was like, never mind. I just won't go to the post office today. I'll have to remind Shannon to be like, I haven't been in the post office in a while. So
Okay, well, I'll have to go
hopefully
check
it's not
it.
very full, but we'll see.
But anyway, that's all for this week. We'll be back next week with something fun. Thank you again to Jane, Liz, and Chuck for joining us. And we'll see you guys all next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Jonghyun, you're our inspiration.
I'm the Stiller.
Yeah.